By the way, I think they're behaving much better than the presidential candidates that seem to have trouble keeping track of their time limit.
They don't have anyone standing up at times.
Yeah.
That would make all the difference in the world. Good morning. My name is Steve Keltner, and I'm running for Indiana Senate in the 30th District. You know, both of my careers are about helping people. I've worked in the emergency department for 7 years, and prior to that I worked for the ambulance services both at Wishart and Bloomington Hospital Ambulance. And my other career is teaching in one of our fine Indiana universities to teach people to do what I do. And I also have 2 children. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. And frankly, I'm not happy with the way our education, our health care, our taxes, the state of these things is unacceptable. And I think that because of my experiences, I can be an effective agent of change in those areas. I have also been a tax advocate for the last couple of years and have earned the highest rating from Watchdog Indiana, which is taxpayer friendly, as well as a lower rating, but every bit as important, as part of the solution. And Hoosiers for Fair Taxation support my taxation reform plans. I've also had the opportunity to, over the last 2 years, be called things as a tax abolitionist and someone who's drinking the Kool-Aid, to then appear in front of a commission this year, in front of it was a joint commission, and right behind me, as I gave my plans to lower the property taxes and eventually reduce to eliminate them, I had 2 elected senators stand up and say, yeah, it can be done, although they offer a slightly different plan. It really is a philosophical question, and it is scary to think that we have to make a major move such as maybe eliminating and redistributing and lowering and capping taxes. It is a big change. But you know, in the emergency department, I tell people all the time, sometimes someone comes in and you have to act quickly and you have to act aggressively. Although it's scary for a lot of people who might be standing around the halls, it's the right thing to do. We'll save jobs, we will, and we'll protect the taxpayers. There are 30 other states in this country that offer some form of taxpayer protection. Indiana isn't one. The 3-2-1 plan is a good start, but it is not the end. It's a stepping stone, and we must move forward. Thanks. If Adam gets in, I'm going to buy him a watch. 10 seconds. That's a good one. You're going to need that for on the floor. No, that's fine. No, you know, is it broken or does it just need new energy? My son came the other day and said, Dad, this thing's broken. Well, I need new batteries. But, you know, that was the difference. I think it needs new energy. Mr. Delaney was correct when he said you have to get the participation, but that's difficult. You have to get the people in office who are willing to get out there. You know, I've knocked on hundreds of doors, if not thousands of doors. I've been to forums. I do things just like this on Saturday morning. I do them late Sunday night. I do them any time because I realize the legislators have to go out to the people and actually be receptive and listen to them. Because let's face it, we all work. We're all busy. And unless, if I don't take the time and I'm not willing to do that for you, I'm not going to know what your issues are. And that's the key. It's up to us. And I don't have a watch. So. Have you read my website? That's right about what I've been talking about for a while.
No, I have not, but I will.
Well, yeah, I've been talking about it for quite some time, following the mass transit issue for about 2 years, solidly for 2 years. Specifically in my district is the light rail system that's going to be at least $160 million. The problem is planning. They knew the problems of mass transit were there. This was identified over a decade ago, and nothing had been done to put any kind of funding in place, even a penny per transaction tax or tenth of a cent or anything that other states have done. They did absolutely nothing, and now we're looking at issuing more bond issues. I answered this question yesterday on Amos in the afternoon, Amos Brown show, and we were talking about the fact that I know people who can't get to the doctor because they're not allowed to drive anymore, and there are no sidewalks that they can walk to a bus stop where they can catch a bus to go to their doctor. That's a real problem for me. What I have suggested over the last 2 years is do what's sensible with the money. We need the mass transit. We need to have bike paths. We need to have sidewalks. We need park and ride stations, buses, that sort of thing. The money that is going to be used to put the rail in itself, the hardline rail, could be used to purchase new buses. It could be used to put infrastructure throughout the entire central Indiana area. And if you did that, then you could buy more buses using the MPO numbers, the Metropolitan Planning Organization numbers. It looks like about $20 million of buses would help out. You could then use the money that you would use to run that rail line every year. Those estimates are anywhere from $30 to $50 million a year to run Indigo on a ramped-up system that could serve all of central Indiana, and you could have more public-private partnerships to get people from the northern and southern into Indianapolis. It doesn't have to be a taxpayer solution. the rail lines are nothing but a taxpayer solution, and it costs more than everywhere that they've been put up. I was at a meeting of the Greater Allisonville Community Council about a year ago, where they were talking this very issue. They wanted to put one of these large billboards up on 82nd Street by the mall that's up there. And the meeting was, the person that was coming in asking, the questions that were being asked were, how often is it going to, will it change, will it be blinking, is it going to be a distraction of the cars that are going down the roads? None of that information was actually conveyed, and that was the information I was asking for. If I know this could be something that's going to cause a lot of accidents, then bring more people coming to the hospitals, that's going to raise a lot of problems. That data wasn't there, and I think that that's something that we need to look at to help make that decision. Now, is it something that I like? Well, I don't even like the fact that on 62nd and Allisonville, they put up this, it's an interstate-sized number board telling you what the gas costs. I mean, they could have put something much smaller to be more amenable to the neighborhood, and that's just been a personal thing. So I have a problem with anything that makes the residential areas look commercial. I think there should be some limit to what you can do. That probably does need to be best done at the county level or the city level, not the state level. But I don't like it either. I think you have to keep those things. That's why you have these zoning laws. But there's a lot of things going on if you follow the zoning in my district, where they can put right in the middle of the neighborhood, they can put a cell tower. So I think there's a lot of problems in the zoning department that we're going to clean up too. Support it.
Yeah.
I support a lot of Current Shepherd. I don't support it all necessarily. Some of the recommendations are good. And I think that's true of I'm not going to agree 100% with anything anyone says, and if I did, we wouldn't need both of us in the same room. But I think that when it comes to efficiencies in schools, anywhere you can create efficiencies, redundancies, and there's other places too. They've talked about the 65% rule in schools that Adam probably is very familiar with, where they don't want to spend any more than 35% on anything that would not be kid-related. So they want to create efficiencies. I think that's important anywhere you can go. But with schools, with Current Shepherd, the recommendations, you have to be careful. Yes, you can consolidate administration. You want to be careful consolidating classes. So there are some very good things, but I tell you what, a lot of them were things my father taught me years ago that I take from my household and go, I buy it this way because it makes sense, and I actually will go ahead and buy a little bit bigger quantities if I can, if it's on sale. Well, the school district should be able to do the same thing. That wasn't exactly addressed in Current Shepherd, but it was in the 65 rule. So there are other things that can be done, but yeah, government efficiency is a no-brainer. I think everyone here would vote for that. Steve Keltner, running for Indiana Senate in District 30. The issues are also clear in my mind. Healthcare is a major issue, that the costs of which are escalating exponentially by reading the newspaper. Education is something that is very dear to my heart, and I have a lot of information on my website. I'm also part of the National Alliance of Cohen and Helma Powell called the American Promise Alliance, which deals specifically with high school dropout rates, which is something that's deplorable in part of my district and needs to be addressed. I think you need to choose people that have expertise. If you happen to find at a garage sale something that you think might be an authentic Monet, you don't take it to a friend who teaches art to third graders. Although they might have a great idea of how to teach kids art, you're not going to let them restore your painting. You need people who have expertise in the type of paints that are used and these types of things. If you want these types of reform, healthcare, education, you need to talk to the people and allow us to get in and make the efficiencies that are necessary, keeping the taxpayers, the patients, and the students in focus.